Last-minute preparations are on for the Ondo governorship election, which will take place in 5 days.
Who will be the leader that will stir the affairs of the state for the next 4 years? The military says it will deploy between 200 and 300 soldiers to the coastal areas, which has been identified as hotspots.
Senior political correspondent Ayodele Ozugbaku joins us now from our Akure studio. Aya, good morning. Quickly bring us up to speed what the situation is like, especially the security situation. There was some sort of a clash yesterday. What updates do you have with regards to that? And what more do we need to know at this time?
Yes, this is our live transmission from Akure here in Ondo State, and we're counting down to the 2020 governorship election in Ondo State, and we're looking at who will be the next governor of Ondo State, or will Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu actually retain his seat for the second time in the state. I will tell you one information about this election. We have 17 candidates across 17 political parties vying for the #1 seat in the state, and they all seem ready for Saturday's election. But one thing that is clear is that a lot of people will say, rather than the regular two-horse race between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress, we have a new entrant, a new kid on the block. That's the Zenith Labour Party. The Zenith Labour Party has been waxing stronger, and the candidate of the Zenith Labour Party is Mr. Agbola Ajayi. Mr. Agbola Ajayi, as a matter of information, is the incumbent governor of Ondo State of this right now, and I can tell you that for the Zenith Labour Party, they are doing everything that, look, they're going to make it count. Agbola Ajayi actually ran against Eyitayo Jegede in the People's Democratic Party, but he lost that ticket. So when he couldn't pick the tickets from the People's Democratic Party, after the campaign from the All Progressive Congress, he proceeded to the Zenith Labour Party. But one thing that has been on the mind of the organizers of this election is security, security, and security. We had this fear ahead of the Ondo State governorship election, but thank God it went well, and we didn't have these stories of breakdown of law and order 5 days to the election. Now, it is now worrisome that the people around here, between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress, there's been battle, and crisis all through from Owo. You can say from Owo. Now, yesterday, as recent as yesterday, they had it in Akure. So I have chieftains of these two major political parties here with me. I have somebody from the People's Democratic Party, and I have Mr. Steve Otaloro from the All Progressive Congress. Gentlemen, thank you for coming. And I will tell you, what is happening? You have a governor that has said for 4 years, why the violence? Why the crisis?
Well, that's a good question. Let me just put it this way. We are very concerned with what is happening, especially in the city of Akure, where the candidate of PDP came from. You know, they want to make Akure ungovernable for us, in fact, for the governor. They are making use of Akure because of the fact that their candidate is from this state. And more from this town, more or less, all the violences that are happening in the past few months now has been in the city of Akure, and it's been perpetrated by the People's Democratic Party.
That is an allegation with the People's Democratic Party. I would like you to respond to it. They say the violence so far has been perpetrated by the People's Democratic Party.
Very good morning. There's absolutely no reason for Eyitayo Jegede SAN or any of its supporters indeed to perpetrate violence in an election where we know we are streets ahead of the opposition. Eyitayo Jegede is a cool, calm, calculated individual. He has absolutely no reason to embrace violence. He consistently tells his supporters to be calm, to go out and tell the electorate exactly what PDP has in store. It's no wonder that this government, the APC government led by Akeredolu, has taken to employment of thugs.
That's an allegation.
Thugs.
You guys saw what happened in Ondo State, and a peace pact was signed between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress. At the end of the day, we had a free, fair, credible poll in Ondo State. So, are you not looking forward to something like that in Ondo State? Why, deploying violence as a way of reaching out to your people? Why can't you campaign and reach out to your people?
That question should be best answered by the People's Democratic Party, like I said. All these violences in the city of Akure is being perpetrated by the party. And as a sitting government, we have no reason to engage in violence. Why should? And why should it has to be with the People's Democratic Party, for God's sake? This is a party that is just trying to find its bearing. It's not even in this election. They are not the opposition we are looking at. If for anything, we should even encourage them to remain in this election, because more or less they are already negotiating themselves out of this election.
It's still the same ding-dong affairs, counter-allegation and allegation. What do you want to tell the people of Ondo State right now?
Well, the people of Ondo State should be very clear about the picture on ground. There is no ding-dong. We are the victims of the assault, absolutely the victims. We continue to lodge our complaints with the law enforcement agents. We go to SIB, we go to the CP, we've called on the Inspector General of Police for the law enforcement agents to just do their job. We're not asking for any favors in this election. As we saw in Edo State, where the PDP, we're not asking for any favors.
Veronica, that we just explained the political atmosphere here in Akure. You can just see the ding-dong affair between the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressive Congress. And it has been like that all through the weekend. And the most recent one was the one that happened in the state capital, Akure. And people are afraid that, look, if this persists, that the turnout, it might ultimately affect the turnout of people ahead of next Saturday's election. Already, for what they had, the last election they had here in 2016, the statistics showed us that they had 29.1% of turnout. And people are projecting now that there's no how we can have over 35% of the regular voters, which is estimated at 1.4 million people here in Ondo State across the 18 local governments.
All right, Ayo, we'll definitely keep tabs on developments from Ondo State. Thank you for bringing us up to speed.
It's a pleasure, Veronica.